You've got only this paper left, right?
Yes.
Acha, 1 second. So you start with this one. And hold on a second. Yep, this one. So starting with the first question. Okay, he says that there is a graph. It's a solid is heated for 600 seconds, and the graph shows the heating curve that is obtained. What is the melting point of X? So what's the melting point of this thing? Safa, remember what's the melting point?
The melting point is 240. Yeah, 240.
No, I mean the first one is the melting point. That's your melting point.
So
Okay.
170?
Okay, so yeah, that's going to be 170. The second
Okay.
one, that's your boiling point, so that's going to be B. Okay,
Ah,
next one. A student so which statement about diffusion are correct? So it says that aqueous ions cannot diffuse in water. Diffusion is caused by random movement of particles. Uh, Particles spread out in all directions of diffusion. Diffusion can only take place in solids and liquids.
yes.
So which ones are correct? Only two options are correct. Which ones are correct?
2 is correct. And 3 is correct. C.
I mean, the first one is definitely wrong because ions can move around.
Yeah, and even 4 is wrong because
Diffusion
it
can take
doesn't take place in
solids,
solids.
but it takes place in gases.
Okay, so it's gonna be C. So next
Yes.
one, which statement about an atom of fluorine is correct? It's 9 and 19.
Mhm. C. Is it
No,
C?
remember, isotopes. You have the same. I mean, remember elements.
Oh, okay, right.
They change
I
if
know.
you change the proton number. So
It's A. Yeah, A.
how can it be? It doesn't have 28 protons. It's only got
It
nine of them.
contains a total of 28 protons.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like protons, neutrons,
Neutrons
and
and
electrons together.
Yeah,
Not
that makes
separate.
sense. Let's just double check this. This one is definitely wrong. This one is definitely wrong. More protons than neutrons.
That's wrong as well.
More. That's also wrong because it's got more neutrons. So yeah, A is
A.
correct. Yeah, that makes sense. Number four. Two of the isotopes of calcium are these two. Which
Yes.
statement explains why these isotopes of calcium have identical chemical properties?
Um, both isotopes have an electronic configuration of 2882.
Okay, so they've got the same electronic configuration. That's why. Next one. Which statement describes a property of potassium iodide?
Um, it conducts electricity when molten.
Potassium iodide. Yeah, it's an ionic compound, so that is correct. Ionic compounds, they tend to be soluble in water. They're not volatile. They're mostly solids. They've got high melting and boiling points, so P and C are automatically incorrect. He says methanol has a boiling point of minus 19. At minus 20, the liquid methanol is a non-conductor of electricity. Uh, In a sample of methylene, each atom of carbon, or hydrogen, and oxygen has a noble gas electronic configuration. Each atom has achieved this electronic configuration in one of three ways: gaining electrons, losing electrons, or sharing electrons. Which statement describes the bonding between carbon and oxygen atoms in methanol? So, I mean, basically, this entire story is rubbish. You just need to know, like, how is this a covalent molecule or an ionic compound, this thing?
This one is it's a covalent.
They're all non-metals, right? How many bonds does carbon make?
4. So
And
A.
so
Six is A.
H would make one bond, right? One
Yeah.
second. So your H makes one bond, the other H also makes one bond, and carbon makes oxygen is in group 6, so it makes two bonds, right? So
No, 2 bonds.
A, right?
Yes.
It's a double bond, so 4 electrons being shared. That's right. As the next one, the structures of diamond and graphite. Which statement of a diamond and graphite is correct?
A.
Yeah. So both of them have giant structures and they've got strong covalent bonds. Delocalized electrons are only with graphite. Layered structure, that's only with graphite. Low melting points, both of them don't have low melting points. They've got pretty high melting points. Acha, question number 8. Which one describes description of a metallic bonding and a property that is explained by reference to metallic bonding? Like the description, which description is correct? That's the first part.
Okay. Lattice of positive ions in a sea of D. That's the correct. And then property explained by reference to metallic bonding. D. Yeah, D. It's D.
It can be molded into different shapes, so that's T. So next one. What is the MR of sulfur dioxide? Sulfur is 32 and oxygen is 16.
Yeah.
So D.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's going to be
32
60.
to 64.
Okay, so you've got magnetite is an ore of iron which contains the ions Fe2 plus, Fe3 plus, and O2 minus ions only. This one is a tricky one. What is the formula of magnetite? Like if you were to make a formula, right?
Yeah.
How would that? Let me make a guess first.
It would be um one sec. It's this one is the formula of magnetite. Is this one wait, it's Fe3, so it's either C or D, but then it's gonna be Fe3O2 is iron oxide, right? So
Yeah, but
D?
okay,
Is it
D is yeah, it is D, but why is it D? I mean, what you should have done was that you should have like what's the formula if Fe2 plus combines with O2 minus, right?
yeah,
So what is it going to be? It's just going to be FeO, right?
yeah.
What's the formula if Fe3 plus combines with O2 minus? What's that going to give you? That's going to give you Fe2O3, right?
Yeah.
So what you're going to have is you're going to have so the salt will or whatever the compound is, it's going to be a combination of these two things, right? Because it's got
Mhm.
Fe2 plus as well and it's got Fe3 plus, and the anion there's only one of them. So So both of them are going to separately combine with it. So it's going to be a combination of FeO and Fe2O3. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
So if it's a combination of these two, so what's the total if I add them up? It's going to be 3 Fe's and 4 oxygens, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that clear?
Yes.
So next one. Concentrated aqueous sodium chloride, dilute sulfuric acid are both so this is electrolysis using electrodes, so we're gonna do the electrolysis first. So here's our so that's one electrode,
Mm-hmm.
and over here, what happened there? Wait a second. So that's my second electrode, and you're going to have a battery.
Mm-hmm.
Acha, but okay, what are the ions that are present in this solution in the case of concentrated sodium chloride at the cathode?
For this one, it's gonna be at the hydrogen and wait.
What are the stuff concentrated NaCl, right?
Oh, yeah, sodium and H positive and OH minus and yeah.
Acha, who's going to gain electrons? Na or H?
H.
Okay, so it's a diatomic molecule, so you
Yeah.
you got to have two of them, and it's going to form H2 gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to lose electrons if it's concentrated?
OH minus.
No, it's when it's concentrated, it's always Cl minus one.
Oh, okay, see.
ठीक है याद रखना कि it's always chlorine that gets discharged when it's concentrated. Whenever any halide is concentrated, it's always the halide that gets discharged. So the Cl would be gone. तो उसका क्या होगा aqueous sodium chloride at the cathode? That's going to be hydrogen gas, right?
Yes.
What's going to happen with when it's H2? H2SO4.
H2SO4, it's gonna be hydrogen again.
Yeah, because even from water there's going to be hydrogen. So at the cathode you don't have a choice. You just have the same hydrogen. So it's going to be B, right? So next one. Electrolytes are broken down by electrolysis, which row are correct for each electrolyte?
Um,
किसकी इक्वेशन सही लिखी हुई है?
1 is correct, 2 is wrong, and then molten aluminum oxide is wrong.
So it's B.
Yeah.
ठीक है, 1 is correct.
Yeah, 1 is correct, and so is 4. 2 and 3 are wrong.
नहीं, what about 2?
It
2 का क्या है?
said concentrated hydrochloric acid, and at the
So
cathode, it's
it's going to have HCl, H plus 1, Cl minus 1.
yeah.
And from water, it's going to have H plus 1 and OH minus 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when it's concentrated, who gets
It's
discharged at
always
anode?
yeah, it's always chlorine.
And who's going to gain electrons at cathode? That's going to be H, right?
Yeah.
So 2 is correct, right? उससे आगे क्या
Mm.
है? What about 3? What's wrong with 3?
Please, because aluminum is wrong at the anode. It's supposed to be hydrogen at the I mean, oops, not aluminium. Uh, anode.
Nee, what's wrong with this? See, aluminium is a positive.
The anode is wrong.
Yeah. Aluminium is supposed to be a cathode, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. What about concentrated aqueous sodium bromide?
it's correct.
This one is correct?
Mm.
No,
Whoops, it's not. Sorry, it's not.
because when
Energy.
it's at cathode, it's going to be Na+1, anode
Yeah.
Br-1, and it's aqueous, right? So it's going to have H+1 and OH-1 as well. Now, at anode, it's fine because it's always going to be bromide that's going to lose electrons. It's always going to be bromine when it's concentrated, right?
Mhm.
But who gains electrons? That's going to be H, right?
Yeah.
So this, so one and two is the correct option.
Mhm.
Then next one. Hydrogen oxygen fuel cell. Which statement is correct about the hydrogen oxygen fuel cell?
D.
D?
Yeah. No toxic gases are produced.
The reaction is exothermic because it produces electrical energy. The only product is water. It's not carbon dioxide. And hydrogen is not extracted from clean. It's extracted from petroleum, basically, cracking of oil. So next one, which statement defines activation energy for the reaction? What is activation energy?
Um, this one is this one is A.
Which one?
A. It is the minimum energy that colliding particles must have to react.
That makes sense. That is correct. As the next one, you have to like calculate the
Bond energy.
enthalpy change for this reaction.
Okay, yeah, got it.
And be very careful, see if you get the right answer.
Energy absorbed is 5,824,
Which
and
one?
the energy absorbed, the absorbed energy is 5,824, 5,824,
Yeah, I'm not
and the,
sure, but you're breaking. Make sure you're breaking. It's gonna be 837, right? Times two.
yeah, 837 times 2 plus 4 times 450 plus 5 times 498. After you get that, you subtract it 8 times 805 plus 4 times 464, which is
Eight times.
8,290.
Wait a second. 8 times. And how many times? 4 times. Four six.
464. Yeah, 464. That gives you eight
That's
thousand 296, and the other one
okay.
gives you 5,824. And when you subtract it, you get negative 2,472.
So you get negative 2000.
2,472. But then the it's not A because it says what is the enthalpy change of the reaction when 1 mole of ethene is completely burned. So then we do for 1 mole is negative 2,472 divided by 2.
Yeah,
So which is B?
which is B. Yeah. Okay, so it's gonna give you B. Now the next one is in experiment one, small lumps of limestone are added to dilute ethanoic acid at 40 C. What volume of carbon dioxide release is measured at regular time intervals? A graph of the result is shown. So experiment one, he does this, right? What change gives the result shown in experiment number two? So experiment number two is slightly slower. So what change did he do in experiment number 2?
Mm, This one is large lumps and the temperature is 40. It's A.
So keep the temperature it's slower, right? So he's using large
Yeah.
lumps. What was he using? He's using small lumps, right?
Yeah.
This one, second one is going to be faster. The third one would be even faster because he's using a higher temperature. Fourth one would also be faster, right? You want a slower one. Okay, this one is the equilibrium thing. So he says the forward reaction is exothermic, right?
Yeah.
So the forward reaction is exothermic. So which conditions produce the maximum yield of ammonia? And which one would give you more forward reaction?
This one would be the pressure should be high and then forward reaction is exothermic. So the temperature
Should be
is
low.
high.
The
A,
exothermic up
no
favor.
wait, low. Yeah, low. Temperature should be low.
Lower temperature favors exothermic and
Yeah,
higher pressure favors the less gas side, which is the forward side in this case.
yeah.
So up next one is so next one. The process, whatever that is, used to make nitric acid. The conditions used in this process are a catalyst containing a transition metal, pressure of 10 atmosphere, a temperature of 800 C. Which of these conditions are also used in the contact process?
Contact process. Okay, yeah. This one
Which,
one is correct and two is wrong. It's not at 10 atmospheric pressure. It's at 2 atmospheric pressure. And the temperature is wrong. It's at 450 Celsius. So one only, which is B.
which is B? That's at number 19. So there's this hydrogen iodide is dissolved, which describes the final colors seen when the solution is tested with damp red litmus paper and with acidified potassium manganate 7.
And red litmus paper will become red. So
Yeah.
CO2, then it's gonna stay brown with acidified aqueous potassium manganate. So C.
Um, did I tell you? I mean, look at the data sheet I gave you, right? I told you. Do you know what KMNO4 is? What is KMNO4? Potassium manganate 7. I mean, what does it do? Any idea?
Mhm.
I mean, if you look at the data sheet I gave you, it had. I mean, I listed a couple of oxidizing agents and a couple of reducing agents. And one of them was the oxidation states. हाँ ये वाले ना. So what is KMNO4? Purple to colorless, right? It's a very good oxidizing agent, right? What is I minus one? It's a very strong. It's a very, very strong
Reducing
reducing
agent.
agent. Is that clear?
Yes.
So there's going to be a reaction, and KMNO4 when it reacts with because one of them is an oxidizing agent and the other one is a reducing agent. So the KMNO4 will turn colorless. It will react. Is that clear?
Yes.
अच्छा अगला बोला. Which statement about aqueous ethanoic acid are correct? It's a carboxylic acid. And it's a weak acid.
One is wrong. And then two is correct. Three is wrong. Yeah, and then four.
Why is 3 wrong?
Oh, 3 is correct. pH value of 3 is correct. A weak acid.
It can be
No,
correct.
acid isn't a weak acid.
Oh yeah, it's a strong
Yeah,
acid.
it's 3, and then 4 is wrong.
Called ethanoates, right? It's not going to produce
Yeah.
methanoates. So,
Mm.
2 and 3, right?
Yes, so that's it.
That's the next one. Which element forms acidic oxides? Who's going to form acidic oxides?
Sulfur.
Yeah, that's true. Non-metal oxides are acidic. Metal oxides are basic. Which statement describes the properties of hydrochloric acid? And that's a strong acid.
So this one is wait, is it B or A? It's either B or A, but I think it is A. Is it A, Mr. Fahad?
Yeah, carbonates, limestone is calcium carbonate, right?
Yeah.
So acid, it's going to form salt water and carbon dioxide. So A is correct. B is definitely wrong because with a base, it will produce salt and water,
Yeah, I
not
got
hydrogen.
confused and then I remembered it's a base.
As the next one, element P and Q have the same number of electron shells. So they have the same number of shells. An atom of Q has more electrons in its outer shell than an atom of P. Which statement are correct?
Hmm. This one is C.
They are in the same period because they have the same number of shells. Yeah, so which one is on the right side? Q is the one that's on the right side, right?
Yeah,
So that means P is the one, P is going to be the metal, which is on the left side, and Q is the non-metal, which is on the.
right side.
So P has a greater tendency to form positive. Yeah, that's true. And P would be the one that would be basic, not Q, right?
Hmm.
So next one. Which substance reacts with dilute sulfuric acid to form a salt that can be removed from the resulting mixture by filtration? So he's filtering the salt, so something insoluble, right?
Yeah. So it is aqueous barium chloride.
Yeah, so you're going to have ionic precipitation because barium chloride is soluble and sulfuric acid is also soluble. It's going to dissociate and the ions would randomly mix, and barium and sulfate, if they mix, they're going to form a solid precipitate, which would be barium. And HCl will remain part of the solution because it's still it's soluble, so it will remain part of the solution. It's not going to form a precipitate. So barium sulfate precipitate would be formed. Astatine is below iodine. It's at the bottom of group 7. Which row describes the properties of astatine? Will it be a solid or a gas? It's right at the bottom of group 7.
It would be a solid. And it
Yes,
will
it's going to be
not displace, so it's D. It's D.
so you can't displace, the reactivity decreases down the group, right? That's the next one. Which property of copper explains why it's classified as a transition element?
Um,
What are the 5 properties of
Copper
transition?
forms Cu plus and Cu2 plus and Cu plus ions.
Variable oxidation states, right?
Yeah.
Brass is an alloy that is formed from copper and zinc. Which statements are correct?
One is correct and then it is this one is gonna be C 1 and 3 on.
C?
Yeah. Because
ठीक है,
just
it's gonna
like
be
that, the compound is not.
yeah, it's not. It's just a mixture.
Yeah, mixture.
ठीक है, so two is wrong. Okay, you've got the equation for the reaction of metal M with aqueous zinc sulfate is shown. Which reaction why metal M displaces zinc sulfate? Why does another metal displace zinc?
Because zinc ions can remove electrons from the M, so
The
D.
first thing, I mean, a more reactive displaces a less reactive, right?
Yeah.
So isn't A fine?
But
This part is wrong because
mm,
M is the one that's forming ions, so that's the one
yeah,
that's actually losing electrons, right?
yeah.
So this one is wrong anyways. Option C. So anyone who loses electrons, what is it behaving as? If M, it's getting oxidized, right?
Yeah.
Anyone who gets oxidized is behaving as a reducing agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
And zinc is the one that's gaining electrons, so it's getting reduced. Anything that gets reduced is behaving as an oxidizing agent, right?
Yes.
So metal M is the reducing agent, so that's wrong. This one is correct. Your zinc ions can remove electrons from M. That's what they're doing. M is the one that's losing electrons, and zinc is the one that's gaining electrons. Is that clear?
Yes.
So next one, in the blast furnace, impurity SiO2 is removed by formation of slag. Which equation represents the formation of the substance which reacts with SiO2 to form slag?
It is gonna be it's um it's a D.
D is the one where iron gets produced, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, C then.
C, because calcium oxide gets produced, and then that calcium oxide goes and reacts with SiO2 to form CaSiO3, ठीक है? अच्छा, aluminium is extracted from bauxite by electrolysis. Which statement is correct? Extraction of aluminium.
It is carbon dioxide is produced at the anode.
I think it's exactly that. That's what happens because uh, generally it's just Al and O minus two ions, and these reach the anode, ठीक है, and where they turn into oxygen gas, right? They lose electrons. But this oxygen gas reacts with carbon graphite electrode and it starts forming carbon dioxide as well. So this one is correct.
Mm-hmm.
अच्छा फिर है कि iron rust but aluminum does not easily corrode. Which statement explains why aluminum does not easily corrode?
Because its surface is protected by an oxide layer.
Yeah. That's a bit 32. Which chemicals can be used? We can't say which are the three elements in for plant growth that plants need? The three elements for plant growth.
It's the MPK salts, right?
Yeah.
It's NH422 HBO, that's correct. So C, B or C, and then K2, B.
N, B, and K. Yeah. No one else has these three, right? So it's
Yeah.
N, P, K. Yeah. What is the color change when water is added to anhydrous cobalt 2 chloride?
It is blue to pink.
Now, when you add water, it turns pink.
Yeah.
How do carbon dioxide and methane cause global warming? Like they're greenhouse gases. How do they do that?
They emit the thermal energy they have absorbed back to the earth.
Can they emit?
Yeah.
अच्छा ये वैसे इसका मुझे भी नहीं पता कि the first one, they emit the thermal energy they have absorbed. I don't think that's right. I mean, this is definitely wrong because they're not losing energy to space.
Yeah. And B also, they absorb the radiation directly from the sun. They don't.
I think they do. DB गलत है कि they reduce. Sorry,
It's A or B, but then B doesn't like really make sense that they absorb the
why?
radiation from the sun.
Why does it make sense? The sun is the atmosphere gets heated up. I mean, remember, it's like a greenhouse effect. Greenhouse effect is that the air starts getting warmer because it's directly, I mean, the atmosphere is directly absorbing energy from the sun, right?
It's
Is that
A?
clear? Yeah, I think it's B.
Okay.
इसका देख लेते हैं.
I don't think the mark scheme has come out yet.
नहीं, you have a marking scheme.
Oh.
अच्छा इसका क्या है कौन सा which paper which
It's
question
question
was that?
number, I think 33, no, 34.
34.
34.
So 34
Because B
is
doesn't make sense. Yeah,
नहीं,
A.
34 A है वैसे. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Because B, how will they absorb the radiation? Because it says directly from the sun. It doesn't directly trap, absorb it. I think it's more
नहीं,
like they
actually,
trap. Because what we watched a video, I don't remember in chemistry or physics, and it was saying how they emit it and stuff. In school, we
they
watched
emit
a
the
video.
thermal energy they have absorbed back to the earth.
Yeah, some of it, not all of it though.
चलो ठीक है. मतलब just remember this now, ठीक है?
Yeah.
So अगला four statement where photosynthesis are listed. So which statements are correct?
One is correct, two is wrong. That's not. Three is correct.
One correct है? Two में क्या issue?
One and three are correct. Two is wrong. So A.
नहीं, what's wrong with two?
It says the
Yeah,
equation for photosynthesis is
that's
this.
the opposite, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
three is
This
correct, and then one and three, so A.
ठीक है. अच्छा, which molecules are structural isomers?
Actual isomers. One is wait. Um, One and three.
One and three?
Yeah.
Do they have this one has five carbon atoms, right? And this one has five
This
carbon
one
atoms,
also
right?
has five.
Yeah, so one and three are, and they are structurally different, right? Because there are four carbon atoms in a
Yeah.
row and there's one carbon branch. Over here, you
Yeah.
don't have four carbon atoms in a row.
You only have
Anyway,
two.
you got two branches, right? So that's right. So one and three, right? And these two are definitely, they've got different number of carbon atoms. I said next one, 37. Which statement about the reaction of ethene with steam are correct?
1 is correct.
ठीक है, so
And 2
water.
is wrong. It does not react with aqueous bromide.
What is the product?
Uh,
Like when you have an alkene and
Glucose,
water gets added to it.
ethanol or glucose.
It will be an alcohol, yeah. So yeah,
So
so this one.
2 is wrong, and so is 3.
Yeah, carbon would be sharing the same number of electrons.
Yeah. So 4, 1 and 4, which is
Yeah, I don't know.
1 and 3 then. Yeah,
The
1
number of
and 3.
electrons shared, sorry, between carbon atoms, right?
Oh, okay, yeah, between carbon
Yeah,
atoms.
because you had a double bond and now you don't have a double bond, right? So
Yeah.
so the carbons would be sharing less electrons with each other, right? So 1 and 3 are correct.
Yes.
अच्छा अगला वाला methane and chlorine react to form chloromethane, which one describes the necessary reaction conditions and the type of reaction. Yeah, alkanes. What type of reaction do alkanes undergo?
Okay. Ultraviolet
Alkanes,
light.
yeah, they do need ultraviolet light. And is it an addition reaction or a substitution reaction?
It's substitution.
ठीक है, so it's just that you've got methane and chlorine comes in and knocks out a few of the hydrogen atoms.
Yeah.
I said 39. Where part of the structure of two different polymers, X and Y, are shown. So what kind of polymers are they? Like, what type of linkage is this?
Um,
Is it
wait, I know, nylon,
yeah, but what is the linkage, name of the linkage?
ester? No, wait, what?
It's not S, it's amide linkage.
Oh, amide. Okay, you mean that type. Okay, yeah.
I said then in polyamides you studied two things. You studied nylon and you studied proteins, right?
Yeah.
Which one is which?
I think X is protein and Y is nylon.
No, X is nylon.
Oh,
Because remember the monomers for nylon were that you had diamides. I mean, you had the same group attached on both sides, right? So
yes.
look at the nylon part, right? And the other one was dicarboxylic acid, right? In proteins, the linkage was an amino acid. An amino acid is it's got carboxylic acid on one side and it's got amine on the other side, right? So this one is a carboxyl. Is that clear?
Yes.
So the linkages are the same, but the monomers are different, right? Is that clear?
Yes.
So you got a chromatic last question,
We're
okay?
gonna do it wrong. Oh, one.
That's the last one.
There's so many
Substance.
One fellow is married, 9, 10.
Actually, ये वाला substance Q is tested using paper chromatography.
Yeah.
Which statement is correct?
C.
Two different amounts. ठीक है. चलो
This
ठीक है,
one
we're
was.
done with this. ठीक है.
They gave us such an easy one in the end.
That was the easiest.
Mm.
चलो ठीक है. Let's have a class tomorrow then. ठीक है.
Okay, same time?
Yeah, but do remind me. ठीक है.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, take care.
Okay.
Allah Hafiz.